Good afternoon. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. Of course, coming to you a little bit late here on a Tuesday. We have some work being done in the studios, usually on Tuesdays. Means it pushes us back a little bit, but I appreciate you joining us, whether it's live or on demand. And let's get right into it with that Market Watch. And right now, here today, kind of a mixed bag out there in terms of the market. Lots of sell-off still happening here today, though. Unfortunately, a lot of government stuff is happening. Like, for instance, Trump administration taking further steps to dismantle the Department of Education. Layoffs coming from there as well. So you have those types of stories out there. We're waiting for NVIDIA to announce their earnings tomorrow after the bell on Wednesday. A bunch of retailers report this week. Home Depot did. We'll have them coming up here in just a moment for you. We have the non-farm payroll report coming out on Thursday. That'll be for September's numbers. So we're all in anticipation of that, and market here just kind of in a sell-off mode right now. Dow Jones down that 338 points. Well, 355 now to 46,279. S&P 500's down 22 points to 6654. The Nasdaq's down 157 points to 22,550. The small cap index, the Russell 2K, it's up 12 points to 2357. And then you got Bitcoin. Look at this, 1,265 points up here today. It actually traded under 90,000 this morning for just a little blip there, up to 93,350 here today. So still well below that 100,000 mark here for Bitcoin, but slowly trending up here after going below 90,000 earlier today. Stocks we're paying attention to right now, like I said, we're waiting for NVIDIA. We're waiting for more other retailers. But Klarna is out, and we're looking at their stock here today. If you remember Klarna, the buy now, pay later platform, well, they're down 7% earlier today, 6.32% right now. Their first earnings report since its September IPO is that what they came out with, and it showed a third quarter operating loss of $83 million for their first time. A year ago, they had a profit of $13 million. They went public in September. First numbers come out since then. Went from 13 million profit a year ago, 83 million operating loss a year later after going public. Klarna down 6.59% off of that news. And then one of the retailers we're waiting for Walmart later on in the week. Of course, Target, I believe, is today after the bell. But one of the retailers we're kind of anticipating looking at was Home Depot, and they reported yesterday as well. It's our next stock that we're looking at, 4.50% down here right now. Their third quarter earnings, well, it missed the expectation levels that were out there for Home Depot. This one is being watched because it has to do with homeowners, remodels. Are people going into the remodel process? Because people aren't really buying homes still yet, right? So what's the process on that side of things? And it was disappointing for Home Depot. Home Depot earned $3.74 per share. Analysts were expecting $3.84 per share for Home Depot. Home Depot, the other bad thing that they did while they're down, well, they cut its full year's earnings outlook as well with this reporting for Home Depot. So the home remodel space, DIY space, just remodels, building in general, down here with the Home Depot numbers here that they reported yesterday. And then let's look at some battery stuff, right? Energizer Holdings is the company we're going to look at next. Yes, this is the Energizer battery company here. 16.31% down right now. Their fourth quarter earnings, well, obviously, as you can guess, missed expectations by being down to 16.31%. They posted earnings of $1.05 per share. Analysts were expecting $1.12 per share for Energizer. The battery maker's first quarter earnings guidance, well, it missed expectations as well. The CEO there said in the first quarter will be, quote, more heavily affected by temporary tariff costs and mitigation efforts for this company, Energizer Holdings. So that's why they're down this 16.31% here today. And not good news for Energizer here is, they're blaming tariffs, et cetera, and Batteries are made overseas, huh? I guess that makes sense, right? But I did not know that before in terms of the tariff side of things. Later on, when we come back and look at stocks, well, of course, we'll look at Cloudflare, J&J Snack Foods. That's the parent company there of a couple of big names, Dippin' Dots, Icy, for instance, on this company. We'll look at their stock. And Emmer Sports as well. They're a sports entertainment company, and they do Solomon, Wilson brands, etc. So we'll look at those stocks coming up here in just a little bit. But first, let's get you updated on kind of the national stories around government and business that you need to know. And interesting thing here, Thanksgiving holiday is coming up, and this is kind of a U.S. level here. AAA's coming out, and they're saying that a record 81.8 million Americans are set to travel during the Thanksgiving holiday. We're just a week, about 2 weeks away here, with it being Tuesday. 90% of that group, well, they're planning to drive to their destinations. We had that story yesterday about RVs. Record RV travel, record RV sales happening right now, rentals happening right now as well. So this kind of tracks here with that RV story we had yesterday. Compared with the Thanksgiving holiday just last year, an additional 1.6 million people are predicted to travel, and this is to travel more than 50 miles from their homes. Like for instance, I'm traveling all the way to my parents' house, and that's about 30 something miles. I don't count in this story. Now, the time frame that they count on this, November 25th through December 1st, counts as the Thanksgiving holiday as well. So that represents a new record for Thanksgiving travel. And obviously, if it's a new record, Thanksgiving travel has rebounded, which back in 2020 for COVID, it was at 56.8 million travelers for that pandemic year as well. So a lot of people canceled their plans that year. But travel, as you should know with that RV story yesterday, travel on the roads has rebounded here as well. So interesting enough, you want to talk about air travel, even with the government shutdown, right? You know, the AAA is projecting 6.1 million Americans will fly during Thanksgiving week. That's even up 2% from last year in terms of air travel. 73 million people about plan to drive to their Thanksgiving destinations this year. As I said, that it's a big increase over last year as well. The busiest pickup day for car rentals, well, it's expected to be Wednesday, November 26th. That's according to some car rental places, specifically Hertz, gave us that number as well. Some drivers, well, people might be driving over airlines. One, the government shutdown, safety concerns, just all around airplane concerns out there. Well, domestic car rentals, they're 15% cheaper this year for Thanksgiving than they were last year. And then also gasoline, which is actually about the same price nationally as it was last year. The average per gallon price is about $3.07. So maybe that's why more people hitting the roads. Some more deals out there, cheaper to do that side as well. So there you go. Thanksgiving travel stuff here. If you're planning to travel, hey, join your 81 million friends and family out there and closest friends traveling with you for that holiday. Now let's get into some government side of things. And we now know for those of you that are on Medicare or family members that are on it, we know Medicare costs are going to eat up much, much more of older Americans' Social Security cost of living increase in 2026. The Standard monthly premium for Medicare Part B, that's the one that covers outpatient care, doctors, durable medical equipment, things like preventable services. That's what Plan B covers. Well, it'll be $202.90 in 2026. So this is numbers as of November 14th, by the way, if you haven't seen these updated ones. So that's up $17.90, which is about 9.7% from the 2025 numbers this year. So it is smaller than the $21.50 increase that they had forecasted earlier. These are the official numbers instead of the forecast here. But it is the second largest dollar jump in program history. The first biggest one was in 2022. That was a $21.60 gain, and that was 3.5 times the 2.8% Social Security rise for that next year. So your people on Medicaid, especially people dealing with Social Security, that eats into the money available for other things out there as well. So Seniors, interesting enough, were the only ones who saw an increase in poverty in 2024. All other age groups saw a decrease or even stayed the same at that level. Now, a lot of that has to do with medical cost for the seniors out there as well. So, if you have an older person in your life, take care of them, and make their, they raised you, etc., and been in your life. Take care of them with this stuff because it's stressful for them as they are aging, of course, as well. And now let's talk about the agricultural secretary out there. Her name is Brooke Rollins. And this has to do with SNAP, folks, after the government shutdown. And Brooke Rollins, the agriculture secretary, said that the Trump administration is going to require all participants in the nation's SNAP program. Well, they're going to have to reapply for benefits. It's all an effort to get rid of the fraud that's in the system and prevent it moving forward as well. So if you are a recipient or you know somebody that is a recipient of that SNAP program, that does support right now more than 40 million Americans. Well, you're going to have to demonstrate again with your reapplication that their households still meet eligibility requirements to continue receiving those benefits. Rollins did say SNAP, which is supposed to be a lifeline for low income households. It was among the first priorities that she targeted for review, all because of the citing. She's concerned, at least, there's cited the concerns about eligibility and oversight of that program. She said that she ordered states to share data on recipients shortly after taking office in February. She said that the system is rife with fraud, is what her quote was, but didn't have any evidence, so that's why she was trying to collect some evidence there. She did say that only 29 states, and of that 29 are mostly Republican led states, have complied with the request of giving her the information. She even said that limited data has already revealed significant misuse. For instance, 186,000 people that are dead, yeah, they receive benefits still, and 500,000 people receive SNAP benefits in more than one state. Hey, for them, they live in multiple states. Data from the Department of Agriculture, that's that USDA, that indicates that more than 226,000 fraudulent benefit claims and more than 691,000 fraudulent transactions have actually received approval to go out there, to go out to the people. Fraudulent transactions, interesting enough, if you want to know what that means, 'cause I looked it up, because fraudulent transactions to me means somebody's really, going out there and stealing it from people, etc. Well, fraudulent transactions in this case refers to purchases that SNAP households did not authorize. So what can happen here is card skimming. That's exactly what it is. Somebody gets the card number, bill stuff, etc. Card cloning. Those types of forms of electronic theft is a big problem with the SNAP benefits. The stolen benefits cost the government more than $102 million in the first quarter of the year. That's up from 69.4 million in the previous quarter and then 31.9 million during the same period a year earlier. So we're talking big money here. The Trump administration has removed about 700,000 people off of SNAP so far this year. They've even arrested about 118 people for downright fraud and other cases there around SNAP. So try to pare this down, save the taxpayers some money, etc. So they're working on that side. And the U.S. Postal Service, if you're shipping something coming up here and you're going to wait till 2026, try to get it out a little bit earlier because the USPS has announced shipping prices and they're all increasing here for 2026 officially. The USPS filed a notice about the changes with the Postal Regulatory Commission. That commission actually oversees the Postal Service. The shipping service price increases will take effect January 18th of 2026. So shipping prices are increasing, but the Postal Service said it will stick with its original plan. They will not raise mailing service prices in January. Means they'll raise them in February. Heads up. But that means the price of a first class mail stamp will actually stay the same here in January as well. They announced all these changes on Friday, November 14th. That was a news release that they put out. They noted that the changes are part of the service's 10-year transformation plan. They want to be financially sustainable and provide excellent service as well. So, if you want to go off of the consumer price index, the adjusted an adjustment of that according to market conditions, you can kind of guess what the price increases are going to be. So, as an example, 5.1% for Priority Mail Express service, 6% for Parcel Select, 6.6% increase for Priority Mail services, 7.8% for USPS Ground Advantage. So, just to give you some ideas if you use those services frequently, kind of what to expect here with a price increase in January. Nothing official in those amounts. It's just the estimation there based off of those calculations as well. And hey, if you're looking for a new car, right, you got Carvana, local company here. You can look at used. You can go to a dealership, etc. Well, maybe you don't have to go to a dealership anymore to look at used cars from the dealerships. Yeah, Ford Motor Company is partnering with Amazon officially now to let dealers sell the Ford certified used vehicles. You can sell them on Amazon now on the e-commerce platform itself. So consumers have a way to shop for a car and arrange financing online without leaving your couch, folks. Ford on Monday said the deal allows customers to browse local dealers' pre-owned Ford vehicle selections on the Amazon Autos and then complete most paperwork online. Shoppers can then schedule a time to pick up their automobile in person. Here's the bad part: no Amazon Prime delivery on these vehicles. That's the bad part, folks. The program's going to debut in Los Angeles, Seattle, Dallas. They'll add the other locations over time, according to Ford. The vehicles come with the standard things you'd get at the dealership: manufacturer back warranty, other benefits as well. So no disadvantage by ordering through Amazon Autos. Ford does note that the early step of the purchase process, the only step, I should say, that can't be done, as I said, is no Amazon Prime delivery, no delivery at all. You've got to go pick it up. So that is the one downside, whereas Carvana will just deliver it to you and drop it in your front driveway as well. So how many dealerships are going to participate in this? Well, Ford said that about 180 dealers so far expressed interest in participating in the program. 20, they say, have already signed up with this announcement as well. So there you go. Amazon, go car shopping. I know some, what was it, Hertz was doing, one of the car rental places was selling cars to Amazon Auto as well. They signed that deal, and now Ford Motor Company dealerships getting involved with that as well. So when we come back here at McCollum on Business, we keep the show rolling, of course, here, and got some local stories coming your way. One from K-Jazz on Office of Economic Opportunity. They have some predictions for you out there. And then at the end of the show, a old popular restaurant from the past is coming back. Well, it's still around, but it's going to start growing again, or they're hoping to. We'll have that story coming up as well for you. So come on back. It's McCollum on Business. And welcome back here to McCollum on Business. Appreciate you joining us here, and we'll get back into that market watch in just a second. But you just saw the commercial there for the Real Matrix. The Angry Patriot is there, and look, new episode coming out Wednesdays at noon. So tomorrow at noon, new episode coming your way. It'll be episode 9 as well. So join the Angry Patriot. Wants to open your mind to what the government is doing and what kind of the world is like out there. And if you're into that type of programming, give it a look, would you? Of course, here, Robot TV on demand. You'll see the page. 8 episodes are out right now. And then, of course, on the YouTube page is there as well. And then a free podcast system. Search The Real Matrix. It comes right up for you on your favorite podcast system. Thank you for those of you that found it on the podcast system. Haven't done any external advertising on that as of yet. But that is there, and people have slowly been finding that. And new episode Wednesday. Catch any other episode on demand here at Robot TV or on the YouTube page or free podcast system as well. Of course, the main events in the can today. Local legend, as I like to call him. He doesn't like that. But Bruce Cooper joins us on Tuesdays. Lively conversation about the Cardinals, Suns, ASU as well. Check that out. It's on demand at Robot TV right now. On demand on the YouTube page. And then, of course, the free podcast systems available right now for today's episode. Join us live here at Robot TV, 8 to 10 a.m. Only place you can find us live, but on demand in multiple places. Free YouTube page, free podcast system, Robot TV. So come and join us there as well with me and 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestray. And then, of course, this show. Live at 11 o'clock usually. Today is a little bit later because of some stuff happening here around the studio. We get it out live on demand, Robot TV, YouTube as well. As soon as we're done here, it gets uploaded to those as well. And the pit stop, it's on hiatus right now. We will do some shows here during the hiatus till the racing season starts again in February, end of January. But we will do some shows off and on. But check that out as well, Robot TV on demand, the YouTube, and free podcast for that as well. Mark it on now. Like and subscribe the programs. And get prepared for the new season of racing here coming up with the Pit Stop. Follow me at the Pit Stop Talk as well for that, as that is the racing-based X site and a social media site there for the Pit Stop. With all that being said, let's see if the market's rebounded at all here today on the sell-off with the Market Watch. And I'm seeing right now Meta wins the FTC antitrust trial that focused on WhatsApp and Instagram. So Meta looks to have won that lawsuit for them. And, not really doing much with the market here today as well. Tech is slumping. Bitcoin, as I said earlier, briefly dipped below 90,000. And there in the Dow Jones, well, it's still down 350 points today. S&P 500 still down about 26 points. Nasdaq's down to 142 right now. Then the Russell 2K, 14 points up for that small cap index right now. Then you got Bitcoin. Bitcoin's trading at 93,291. Briefly went below 90,000 earlier today. Coming back up here slowly for Bitcoin. But Bitcoin well below, it was the high, 125,000 in the middle of October there. And now back down to 93,300. And 24, not just in terms of the cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solarium, all of the big names, cryptocurrencies are down, including the other ones out there. There's hundreds of them, folks. All are down here and trading at that level, at lower levels, I should say. Stocks we're paying attention to right now. Cloudflare is the first one. They're a cloud cybersecurity stock, is what this company is. They're down 1.42% today as well. So there was an outage that impacted some of the biggest platforms of the world. We're talking about social media sites X, ChatGPT, big sites like that were all affected by this outage by Cloudflare, and that's why they're down here 1.53%. Here's the day is going on. It's never good when you're a cybersecurity stock. You have an outage and you cost businesses from being available when they need to be there for their customers. So they're down today as well. And then you got J&J Snack Foods out there, Dippin' Dots parent, Ices. This is that parent company, and 6.24% up here right now. Folks, you are drinking your Ices. You are also having your Dippin' Dots, yes. They topped expectations for their fourth quarter earnings. Adjusted earnings came in at $1.58 per share. It was only expected to be at $1.24 per share, is what they were thinking it was going to be at in terms of estimations. Blew that number out of the water here. So, boy, you guys love your ices and Dippin' Dots here. J&J Snack Foods also said it initiated a comprehensive business transformation program. That's a lot of big words, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to generate at least $20 million of annualized operating income is their goal, ringing ears to investors, or ringing, setting giant ring sounds. I don't know what I'm trying to say to the investors' ears, making them perk up a little bit here because $20 million adjusted income. Well, that'd be good news for investors, and that's why they're up 6.35% here today. And then you got Amherst Sports out there. This is the parent company of brands such like Solomon, Wilson are probably the big two that you've heard of. Multiple brands underneath this company as well. They're up 9.46% here today. They topped expectations in its earnings report that they came out yesterday. They had 33 cents per share. It exceeded the expectation of 25 cents per share as well. They had revenue of $1.76 billion. Well, that was well above the forecast of 1.72, billion dollars in revenue. So y'all are also buying sporting goods as well, and Amherst Sports doing really well today based off of that. 9.17% there for Amherst Sports here today. So the big news in terms of the stock market, NVIDIA, we're waiting for that stock to report tomorrow. More retailers today. I believe Target's today, Walmart's later in the week. These are big companies that we're looking forward to. It's going to tell us a lot about kind of where our economy is, and people are pointing toward these retail stocks because of the government reports not coming out due to that government shutdown. So, interesting week here around the market, and so far this week, mostly a down day, except for, of course, Russell 2K today being up as we look at that. And now let's get into some local stories here as well. And the Office of Economic Opportunity came out with a recent report, and they actually project that Arizona's employment, well, they're saying it will continue to exceed U.S. job growth over the next 10 years. We've always been a little bit higher than in terms of the total U.S. population with our job growth here. Obviously, good weather, big companies here, etc. People want to move here, and they expect it to happen for the next 10 years as well. They even said Arizona's employment will increase by more than 454,000 jobs. That's about 1.2% annually, and that's for the next 10 years. The sectors with the strongest growth, well, includes healthcare and social assistance, even construction are part of the strongest growth areas. These sectors are projected to increase by a little more than 2% annually. And then they also said demand for healthcare, well, they say that's partially driven, obviously, by the aging U.S. population. A lot of older people like to come here to Arizona in their older years to get out of the bad weather and enjoy their life. These sectors are followed by manufacturing as another strong growth coming up here. So if you want to look at employment, in all of Arizona's 15 counties, if you want to break it down into that, well, it's projected to increase in all of them coming up. So whether you're in Maricopa County or Pima or up north in Cochise, well, it's expected to grow around the whole state. Although Maricopa County will see the strongest growth potentials here in Maricopa County area. So even if you live up in Prescott Valley, you're going to have strong growth up there as well, at least according to that report there from Arizona Economic Opportunity Division here in Arizona. And let's go down to Tucson here as well, as we got some naming rights, folks. Like, I'm still up in arms about Arizona State University calling Sun Devil Stadium Mountain America Stadium. I always say on the sports program, they don't pay me to say Mountain America. And, you got Arizona Stadium down there as well where the football team plays. Well, not no more, folks. Arizona has secured a $60 million 20-year naming rights agreement for its football stadium. This is the biggest deal in the Big 12 to date in terms of naming rights. And Big 12 history, even. Now, Arizona State has about a $3.3 million deal, but it's 15 years. This is a 20-year deal as well. Who's it with? Well, it's with the Pascua Yaqui tribe down there. they announced that Arizona Stadium will now be known as Casino del Sol Stadium. The naming partnership will include new exterior, interior branding, field logos on the field, obviously, digital platforms, and expanded integration into national television broadcasts. Are they going to start having slot machines? That might that might drive people more to the games down there. Arizona Athletics is pursuing a multi-year facilities upgrades as part of the deal, including things like fan amenities, student athlete spaces, even event operations across multiple venues. So Arizona getting an influx of money for their football stadium. And I saw yesterday the athletic director talking, and they're looking at naming rights deal for McHale Center as well. And now she made it clear that McHale Center will always be named McHale Center. So it's not going to be like here where they're going to take Arizona Stadium and change it into Casino del Sol. It'll be something McHale Center, or it'll be McHale Center, by whatever company on that. So Arizona making some moves here in their naming rights. And I'm not so upset about Mountain America anymore because that kind of rolls off your tongue. Casino del Sol, a little bit different down there. And good luck to Arizona with that as well. And now we have the end of a lawsuit. Well, an end of the lawsuit as of now, because there's going to be an appeal out there. But a judge has now officially said there's nothing illegal about Arizona giving tax credits to companies that go and make their movies or commercials here in Arizona. This was an official ruling here by Maricopa County Superior Court judge. And the Arizona Constitution, the judge said the Arizona Constitution bars the state from providing grants or even subsidies to any individual or corporation. But then the judge acknowledged that lawmakers approved a statute that will allow the Arizona Commerce Authority to give out about $125 million a year in credits that producers can use to offset any tax liability that they owe. The judge also said there's no gift clause violation because the state isn't giving away anything. Not taking anything and giving it to somebody. They're just not giving them things is what the judge said that they're doing. That's why she ruled it legal. The judge did rule that the program simply allows people and corporations to pay less of their own money to the state if they qualify for these tax breaks. She also said that it's not changed by the fact that the credits are refundable. So that is a situation where if someone whose credits exceed the taxes owed can actually get a check from the state for the difference if you, spend more and qualify for rebates more than what your tax low would have been. This is a big ruling here, and it is a defeat, not just because the Goldwater Institute was on top of this as well. They filed the lawsuit, so it is a defeat for the Goldwater Institute, but also Senate President. His name's Warren Peterson. He actually filed a legal brief in the case, urging the judge to undo the program that was enacted by lawmakers, including half the senators from even his own party, and he's a Republican, if you didn't know. So big defeat here for them, and the Goldwater Institute has said they're going to appeal this ruling as well moving forward. The credits can be generous to people that want to do movies and commercials here as well. A lot of movies, they go to New Mexico and film as opposed to here in America. Even ones based in Arizona will be filmed in New Mexico because they get tax breaks over there. Companies that spend up to $10 million in production costs, well, they can receive up to $1.5 million in the credits. And then there's a sliding scale for more expensive films and credits going up to $7 million for a $35 million production. Now, that's based off of the tax number level. So, in terms of the credits that they get. So it is legal, can be pursued now, and continue to move forward. So resolution as of now, we'll see what the appeal process brings us as well. And it seems like a lot of times we're talking about Scottsdale here in their rankings, right? We had one on working parents a month or so ago. And now Scottsdale ranks number 11 out of 215 cities. It's the best for telecommuters now as well. So Scottsdale having a lot of positive press here in these rankings coming out. Scottsdale did, just in terms of Arizona cities, they did outrank Gilbert, who was number 61. Chandler was 65. Mesa was 122. Tempe was 131. Phoenix was 140. And then you want to get outside of Phoenix area? Tucson came in at number 172. This is that co-working cafe study we talk about. They do studies like this all the time, and they're an online global listing service, and users can search and book flexible workspace solutions with Co-working Cafe. The report found that Scottsdale has a solid remote workforce, ranking number 5 for its share of remote workers. Co-working is easily accessible within Scottsdale, ranking at number 20 for highest density nationwide. Nearly 13 spaces per 100,000 residents. There's a median co-working monthly subscription of $235 in Scottsdale specifically. But if you want to go a little bit deeper here, Scottsdale ranked number 18 for medium income. $67,000 is what that number is. Number 6 for the lowest unemployment rate, which is 1.7%. Number 16 for public Wi-Fi density, which that was 19.4. And then almost 20 hotspots for 100,000 residents over there in Scottsdale. They wanted to highlight Co-working Cafe, wanted to highlight the cities with the best environments for remote work. They analyzed U.S. cities with over 200,000 residents across 4 categories, as we just talked about. And they got the data from the U.S. Census Bureau, Rent Cafe, and Walk Scores, where they found that information. So we told you Gilbert was number 61. The most thing I was interested in, median income there is 60,722. The median monthly co-working subscription there in Gilbert's about $150 as well. Then Chandler 65, 58,659 is the median salary there. $218 for the median co-working subscription rate there in Chandler. Now then you go to Tucson, for instance. There were 172 on this. Median income 36,712, by far the lowest here of the ones that were ranked here on this listing. Medium co-working subscription rates $195 for down there in Tucson as well for that ranking. And Scottsdale just continues to win these types of awards. I know Coworker Cafe really likes Scottsdale in terms of their numbers. They get the data. I understand that they're not picking them out, but Scottsdale seems to be really good on that side. And look, it's lunchtime here. We're all hungry. I'm hungry. Get this wrapped up here, right? But an old chain's making a comeback. It's still around. I think we have a couple here left in Arizona, but Sizzler is officially making a comeback. And their refreshed look is, remodel look. This isn't like Cracker Barrel. This one actually seems to be successful out there. They're coming back as a quick service restaurant, and they're continuing to face the challenging environment that everybody else, is dealing with, like Denny's and other of these fast casual restaurants, and having closures and not surviving in this environment. If you go back to 2024, Sizzler said in a press release that it's tapping into the sentimental value associated with that Sizzler brand. They plan to compete with fast food giants like McDonald's. They want to offer a more appealing alternative to parents seeking a dining experience that evokes comfort and familiarity. I think Sizzler wants to come back more like a Chili's than anything else, right? Chili's going after McDonald's and the fast food side of things with pricing as well as quality of their foods out there. Sounds like that's what Sizzler's plan is. Sizzler is seeing sales in the updated restaurants. They're up about 47% once a restaurant gets updated. One of those restaurants saw a lift of 100% in sales. The old Sizzlers was drab and not new looking, right? So updating it, take some notes here, Cracker Barrel. You see it on your screen there. I like the look of that Sizzler. I do. The company only has 80 stores left right now. They completed 9 renovations in the last 2 years. The company's also looking to make a plan for franchise owners to adopt basically standards, right, for that. Most franchise owners are agreeing to the plan as they see it there as well. And maybe Sizzler can get back to its heyday, right? They operated more than 700 restaurants nationwide. Right now, like I said, I believe there's one over in Country Club, I believe is still open. I believe the one in Flagstaff. That one I'm not as sure on up there in Flagstaff. So there are a couple here, at least they were as of a year or so ago when I've driven by them. There, most of these are in California right now, and they want to expand back out. So Sizzler might be coming back again. Remember, get your Sunday best on, kids. We're going to Sizzler. Thank you for joining me here at McCollum on Business. We'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, normal time, 11 o'clock. Come and join us. Watch us on YouTube as well. Here on McCollum on Business. Catch all of our other programming. Real Matrix coming up tomorrow at noon as well for you folks. So we got some big things happening around here. Come and join us, would you? I'm Stephen McCollum. Have a great Tuesday night.